And there I was the girl from Suits.
This one's wife. Harry. I was named in Diddy case. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. At the moment, the trial of P. Diddy on sex trafficking charges is continuing, providing people with a look at the twisted world of P. Diddy, another narcissist who I have analysed separately and did so some time ago before the revelations about his Diddy freak-off parties and alleged sex trafficking came to light. Some time ago, it was the case that Prince Harry found himself mentioned in relation to the litigation, and this raised a question mark about potential involvement of Prince Harry and this one's wife in attendance at said freak-off parties. One individual went so far as to suggest that she had seen them at the parties. There was no suggestion of wrongdoing, and that individual's claim was never verified and did appear to smack of bandwagoning. Nevertheless, Harry was mentioned, and this has prompted more of an outpouring from the Ginger Whinger. As India McTaggart reports, the Duke of Sussex has claimed the Sun named him in the Sean Diddy Coombs sex trafficking case as retaliation to his lawsuit, according to reports. Poor little Howie. Big nasty Sun saying horrible things about you. Yes, the Ginger Whinger once again demonstrating that he brings attention to himself as a consequence of whinging. In newly disclosed court documents seen by The Guardian, Prince Harry claimed the tabloid newspaper was motivated by revenge when it published a front-page story in 2024 associating him with the high-profile music mogul's trial. Now, pausing there. In case you're wondering how court documents appertaining to a concluded and settled action have been disclosed, what it is the mention was made in what is called a skeleton argument. Under the civil procedure rules, the parties to litigation are obliged to lodge with the court for the reading of the judge skeleton arguments that set out the thrust of their case. The purpose of this is to aid the judge in having an outline of the issues before he gets into the meat. So he has the bones of the argument onto which the meat of the evidence and submissions are placed. It was in one of these skeleton arguments that Harry's claim about retaliatory behaviour by the Sun was mentioned, and therefore that has been reported on. Quite simply, the content of the skeleton argument has been raised and then reported on thereafter as part of the actual proceedings. That's where it's come from. The Sun's story was said by Harry to be among a large number of false and highly derogatory articles published by Rupert Murdoch's NGN group in retaliation for his claims of unlawful information gathering and phone hacking against its titles. It comes after Harry accepted an 8-figure financial settlement from the publisher in January, see parts passim, which ended his legal action just as the trial was about to begin. Accordingly, the skeleton arguments in that trial mentioned that he maintained that him being mentioned in relation to Diddy was done as a retaliatory act. And now this has been brought to light. Harry has claimed that the article linking him to Diddy's trial, as well as others published by The Sun and The Sun on Sunday, had a hugely negative impact on his mental health and that of his wife and children. The claim adds that the repeated attacks on his credibility and integrity have also put such a strain on his relationship with the royal family that he was forced to leave the institution and relocate to North America, leaving behind all that he knew and held dear. So, Harry, it was nothing to do with the fact that your wife's behaviour was such that either she was told, fuck off, you're not welcome anymore. And therefore, in order to nullify that threat to control, she dragged you by your pink pods to Canada and then California, as I predicted, or that she, of her own volition, because she couldn't make the royal family bend to her will, opted subconsciously for the third assertion of control by the narcissist, which was withdrawal. We all know, Harry, that the reason that you and your wife ran away was because your wife was either told to go away or because she couldn't get her own way with the royal family, she went into retreat. It was nothing to do with the repeated attacks on your supposed credibility and integrity. It was because your wife wanted things a particular way. You went along with it, simp that you are. You bent to her will by virtue of the fact that you're in the grip of a narcissist and a variety of other factors. But because she couldn't get her own way, you both ran away. It's got nothing to do with what the media were doing. It was simply, you've used that as the excuse. You've used that as an excuse to justify the retreat. The Sun article linking Harry to Combs' now ongoing trial in the USA is a March 27, 2024 report that Harry had been named in the £24 million sex trafficking lawsuit filed against the US rapper, see parts pass him. It ran under the headline, Harry named in P. Diddy sex traffic case. The story was also reported in the Telegraph at the time. The story went on to claim that bombshell legal filings alleged Diddy used Harry's name to give legitimacy to wild parties where serious illegal activity took place. As I explained at the time, it's no surprise that Diddy, as a narcissist, would utilise the name of Harry by way of character trait acquisition to try and achieve that legitimacy. The Duke has only met Combs once in 2007 at the end of a memorial concert for his late mother. NGN denies his claim about the motivation behind the story, adding that the article was accurate and that The Sun publishes stories about the Duke of Sussex which are justified because of the role he holds and the actions he has taken. Harry's claims are contained in a schedule to his skeleton argument over alleged unlawful behaviour at NGN's newspapers. In it, his lawyers allege that since issuing his claim on the 27th of September 2019, NGN has published in The Sun or Sun on Sunday a large number of false and highly derogatory articles about the Duke, plainly in retaliation, including articles that suggest he has somehow betrayed his family, has lied about them to garner sympathy, is a traitor to his country, and perhaps most damaging of all, has been named in a high-profile sex trafficking case. The Guardian was able to report from the court documents after an application to High Court Judge Mr. Justice Fancourt. The 11th hour deal struck between the Duke and NGN in January followed 24 hours of intense negotiations, as reported previously, and was hailed by Harry as a monumental victor, as Harry went from dragon slayer to dragon settler. Naturally, because the Diddy trial is on foot, it's the case that Harry needs another whinge because of the connection that has been established between him and the sex perv that is P. Diddy. And therefore, with his usual victim mentality, Harry has decided to bleat about it. Now, in order to be balanced, it could be the case that the Sun did do this by way of retaliation. After all, the Sun isn't exactly high amongst those with moral fibre, and furthermore, belongs to the NGN group. But why does Harry need to raise it? Because he loves whinging, because of his own victim mentality. He doesn't need to. Alternatively, it is, as the Sun claims, not a retaliatory action, but the paranoia of Harry sees it that way. Unfortunately for Harry, it's the Barbara Streisand effect. He once again draws attention to the fact that he was named in a court case against P. Diddy, and that naturally causes people to wonder if the level of connection between him and Diddy is more than has been admitted. He basically rakes up old discussion, demonstrating once again what a dimwit he is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.